What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of AC Reviews the World. I am your host, AC the Engineer, and we are at episode, 239. Let's give it a round of applause. Now, I hope everybody had a good day today. It is Thursday, August 6th, 2026, year of our Lord, and it's time to get to the greatest afternoon show in the world. You ain't got to believe it, but I believe it. That's all that matters. Eventually, everybody else will believe it, but we'll get to there. But welcome back to a show where we meet Monday through Friday starting around 6 and just talk about things that I found that we need to review together. Why? Because the world's a crazy place and we got to figure out some way to navigate it. Now, this show is heavily based on my opinion, so if you ever disagree with anything I say, please leave a comment, leave a dislike, something. Just let's talk about it. That's what's wrong with the world today, is we're not having discussions about these types of topics. And if you like this channel and you like these live streams and the videos I upload, the best way to show your support, y'all, is just to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos, because I try to drop every single day. But you know how I like to do it. We don't like to play around here. Let's jump right into it. The first topic we got to discuss today is we got to go to the Bronx. Now, first thing I want to say is that a mother will do whatever she needs to for her son. And this mother might have taken that too far, but we got to look at her anyway. We got the former police commissioner who ended up acting as a getaway driver for her very own son during a gang-related shooting. Yeah, that taking being a mother to the ultimate level. But we got a few videos to look at, and of course we got a AI breakdown we'll look at, and then after that we'll get over and we'll pivot over into the next topic. But let's jump over into it and see what we can find out, y'all.
NYPD says Jennifer Lackard went from Mount Vernon public safety to getaway driver.
Police arrested her and her son this morning. They say she drove the car for him after he shot at a rival gang member behind the Bronx criminal courthouse last week.
And today, that's where she went before a judge. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles live there now with the details. Darla.
Mike and Sade, this shooting happened right behind this courthouse in the middle of the day at around noon in the afternoon on June 29th. And prosecutors say that 49-year-old Jennifer Lackard is accused of attempted murder, attempted assault. They say her son came in here for a court appearance, and instead of that, he's accused of a drive-by shooting. 49-year-old Jennifer Lackard, a now former deputy commissioner of public safety for Mount Vernon Police, entering a Bronx criminal courtroom accused of participating in a wild drive-by shooting outside of the very same courthouse. Prosecutors detailing the allegations during the Tuesday afternoon arraignment, telling the court that the June 29th shooting is all captured on surveillance video. Lackard, her husband James, and son Chase are seen leaving their Soundview apartment that morning. Her 20-year-old son is an alleged gang member and had a court appearance for a gun charge that day. But when he arrived, prosecutors say he opened fire outside at rival gang members, accusing Lackard of getting behind the wheel and helping him flee the scene.
Prior to entering to the courthouse, she's in front of this courthouse for about a good approximately 5 minutes.
The city of Mount Vernon issuing a statement saying, effective immediately, the city of Mount Vernon has terminated Jennifer Lackard's employment. The allegations are unrelated to her duties and do not stem from any conduct associated with the department.
Yo, this is a crazy situation, y'all. So he was already scheduled to be in court. He ended up seeing a rival gang member and then shot. And then the mother still drove. Yeah. If he committed that crime and you knew it and you still tried to flee the scene, you're just as guilty as him. It's a tragic situation, y'all. Let's keep going. Well, really not tragic. It's crazy to think that a mother would go this far. But let's keep going.
Lackard appointed Deputy Commissioner of Wellness for the city in 2020 during the George Floyd protest and has been lauded for her advocacy work with reentry programs, serving 2 terms on Community Board 9 in the Bronx.
Ms. Lackard has for 20 years dedicated her professional life to the health and healing of impacted communities.
Again, this afternoon, Jennifer Lackard pleading not guilty to this indictment. Her attorney did not speak after court, but in court says that the picture painted by prosecutors is completely different than her life and her career. Bail was set at $75,000 and she'll be back in court in September. Reporting.
Let's get over into the next topic, our next video, and see what else it tells us.
Plus, was it a family affair? A deputy police commissioner in Mount Vernon charged in a jaw-dropping attempted murder case that investigators say she coordinated with her son and husband. That is our top story right now at 6 o'clock. I'm Natalie Pascarella.
And I'm David Usry. Detectives say it started with a shooting that happened steps away from the Bronx Criminal Court building.
Jennifer Lackard and her son Chase were arrested at their home in the Bronx just this morning. Police here in the city allege she was driving the getaway van after her son shot at people. News 4's Chris Glorioso live at the Bronx courthouse to sort out these charges for us, Chris.
That's right, Natalie. For about a month now, the NYPD has been trying to figure out who opened fire on a group of people right here outside the Bronx County Hall of Justice. Tonight, the Bronx DA says this was a family affair, with one of the people arrested, a deputy commissioner in the Mount Vernon Police Department, now charged with attempted murder.
Surveillance captured a shooting that occurred
in Bronx criminal court Tuesday. Prosecutors detailing the jaw-dropping case against 49-year-old Jennifer Lackard, who until now had been a high-ranking Mount Vernon police commissioner. Back on June 29th, investigators say Lackard, her 20-year-old son Chase, and her husband James took part in a coordinated attempt to open fire on a group of people outside the Bronx criminal court complex, and then speed off in the family van. In court, Assistant DA Keturah Ladd said the son, Chase, was the trigger man, and prosecutors say they have text messages between him and his mother planning the getaway. He texted to her, "Be right out front when I leave." She responded, "When? You can't just stand out front. The timing has to be right."
It was ridiculous. How are you going to shoot right
next to the courthouse?
The criminal court.
Neighbor Carmen Santa remembers walking her dogs near the crime scene the day of the shooting. No one was injured in the gunfire, but prosecutors say Chase Lackard is a known gang member, and one of the people in the targeted group was part of a rival gang. They also say he appeared in Bronx court on a prior gun charge the very same day he opened fire on the group outside.
She is on her phone from what we can see on the surveillance cameras.
As of Tuesday, Jennifer Lackard had been listed as Mount Vernon's Deputy Commissioner of Wellness, the police department issuing a statement saying the allegations do not stem from any conduct associated with the department or the performance of her official responsibilities. Effective immediately, the city of Mount Vernon has terminated Miss Lackard's employment. One question unanswered in Lackard's arraignment, the whereabouts and charges her husband may face. Prosecutors say he helped drive the van used to get to the courthouse and to get away after the shooting. But as of late afternoon, only his wife had been formally charged.
And her husband, who was the driver of the vehicle.
So I wonder, well, they're saying that she was the getaway driver, but was it the husband or her? Or did they both do, like, take turns or something? Crazy situation. Let's keep going and finish it up.
Jennifer Lackard pleaded not guilty in court today. She was granted $75,000 cash bail. Her attorney declined to talk with reporters out in the hallway, but in court she said there is nothing about this case that aligns with what she knows about her client's background as a mother or a police official. We expect her son, Chase Lackard, will first be arraigned on a gun charge, possibly as early as this evening. And again, at this point, we do not know the whereabouts of James Lackard, the husband, or what he might be charged with.
There's still a lot of questions about this whole situation. What type of mother would plan something like this? And I want to know if the father had anything to do with this and who the actual getaway driver was. Let's get over into the AI breakdown, y'all, just to get more details about it and wrap up this topic. So as we know, the Jennifer Lackard, a former Mount Vernon Deputy Police Commissioner of Wellness, was arrested and fired after prosecutors accused her and her ex-husband of coordinating a targeted gang shooting with their son and serving as a getaway drivers On August 4th, 2026, Lackard and her 20-year-old son, Chase Lackard, were taken into custody and charged with attempted murder, attempted assault, and conspiracy and weapons offenses. Her ex-husband, James Lackard, fled out of state, but subsequently surrendered to authorities on the morning of August 6, 2026. So according to the criminal indictment, the Bronx County District Attorney's Office, the shooting took place in broad daylight on June 29, 2026, right outside of the Bronx Hall of Justice. It says that the son and alleged member of the Slutty Gang arrived at the courthouse for his scheduled appearance on a separate gun charge, and instead of entering, he ended up firing multiple rounds from a semi-automatic firearm through the vehicle window. Prosecution revealed incriminating text messages between the mother and the son regarding the timing of the ambush. When the son texted her to stay out front, she reportedly replied, you can't just sit directly outside. It has to be timed right. James Lackard initially drove the vehicle during the shooting, but the family later stopped to switch seats. Jennifer Lackard allegedly took over as the getaway driver to flee the scene while her son changed clothes to evade police and identification. How is this a police commissioner? How is this a police commissioner and her son is a gang member? That seems crazy to me. So following the arrest, the city of Mount Vernon immediately terminated her from her position, stating her alleged actions were entirely unrelated to her official duties, and she had been with the department since 2020, focusing on community wellness and police reform initiatives. She was in charge of police reform? So during her arraignment, Jennifer pleaded not guilty. Her defense attorney argued that the criminal allegations contrasted sharply with her 20-year career in social services and community health. Cash bail was set at $75,000, and she expected to be back in court September 2026. So I did want to see if there was any more details. So we got surveillance footage and investigation revealed that the shooting was not random. So on the morning of June 29th, Jennifer and James drove to Chase to the Bronx criminal courtroom for a scheduled appearance. After Chase went inside and came back out, he got back into the family minivan. Instead of leaving, the family spent 45 minutes to an hour circling the block. They circled the same area at least 4 times, looking for the targets. Chase briefly stepped out of the vehicle to peer into the courthouse breezeway before getting back to carry out the drive-by ambush. After turning himself in on the morning of August 6th, James was formally arraigned at the Bronx criminal court. He faces exact same charges as his ex-wife and son. His bail was set at $150,000, which is double the amount that was for the mom. I wonder why double the amount. Is it because he's a man, or is he because he started to be the getaway driver? It was the first one to be the getaway driver. So a look into the background of the unsealed 2012 federal indictment reveals that James had previously served 52 months in federal prison on the drug conviction. He was later pleaded guilty in a separate federal narcotics case. So the investigation sparked fierce scrutiny over the department's vetting process after the NYPD highlighted the 20-year-old's extensive history with violent interactions. He was shot. So this is about the son. So he was shot in the chest in the Bronx during an active gang-related street fight in January 2023. He was arrested in Manhattan for criminal possession of a loaded handgun in August 2024. And then in November 2024, during a rainy night, a chilling surveillance photo caught him pointing a loaded gun directly at several NYPD officers. Officers returned fire, striking him in the leg, which led to the weapons and menacing charges. How is his mother a police commissioner? This doesn't make sense. So Jennifer was originally appointed to the wellness role in 2020 during the George Floyd protest. Heavily praised for her community social work and served 2 terms in the Bronx Board 9. So records show that James and Jennifer previously operated a local nonprofit organization. The nonprofit was forcefully shut down by regulators. Jennifer was not accused of legal wrongdoing regarding the organization's closure at the time. She had no prior criminal history in New York. Wow. Is she the greatest mother or is she the worst? She drives with her son to do a drive-by shooting, planned it out, stalked the victim for 45 minutes, or stalked the area that the victim was supposed to be for 45 minutes. And she was a part of the police and had something to do with police reform. You got to do a better vetting process of, especially if you're of the people's family. Some people might say that the family doesn't matter, but that's a clear conflict of interest, or a potential conflict of interest. It's a crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a tragic situation that we had a police commissioner be involved in something like this, a former police commissioner now. Absolutely crazy. We're going to pivot now to our second topic we're going to be discussing today. And we got to go over to the Crosby Elementary School. Yes, the Crosby Elementary School, where a teacher, special ed teacher, and a principal have been arrested following some awful allegations. And it seems like that the special ed teacher was doing something crazy with his students. But the worst part about it is, it seems like the principal knew everything about his past, which had similar crimes, but yet she still decided to hire this man. Look at him. It's a crazy situation, y'all. But let's get over into a few videos, and then we'll get over into the AI breakdown just to wrap it all up. Remember, y'all, if y'all like this type of content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. Let's get over into it.
Investigators say they discovered surveillance of students crying out in pain after being assaulted by a Forney ISD special education teacher. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eagers. 9 o'clock. The now former teacher is also charged with child grooming. Jonathan Michael was arrested in May, but Fox 4 obtained charging documents and arrest information today revealing what allegedly happened. Weeks before that arrest, Forney ISD leaders revealed it had removed a teacher from a Crosby Elementary School classroom and ousted the principal. The district also said it discovered the teacher had changed his name before his hiring after being accused of wrongdoing at a previous North Texas school district. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager following all of this tonight. Peyton.
Steve and Heather, and we have been reporting on this multi-agency investigation since May. And as we were following up on the case, we discovered these charges. Jonathan Michael booked in the Kaufman County Jail on May 29th, and now we know the Texas Rangers were brought in at the end of the school year. Surveillance video from inside Crosby Elementary showed now former Forney ISD special education teacher Jonathan Michael harming students, according to the Texas Rangers. Arrest paperwork obtained by Fox 4 News Thursday details 2 incidents caught on camera, one in January, another in February. Investigators say Michael got upset at one student and grabbed their right arm, twisted their wrist, and performed an arm bar takedown, then allegedly shoved the student into a bookshelf. Investigators say Michael grabbed another student and violently pulled him to the ground. The student nearly struck his head on a table on the way down. The affidavit says Michael then pinned the 8-year-old using his knee.
How is all this caught on camera and nothing happens to him? I'm assuming somebody said something. I don't see a student just having that happen to them and not mention that to anybody. Maybe they did. That's crazy.
Forney ISD police also briefed the Rangers, saying officers had statements and video from staff alleging Michael physically and sexually abused special education students at Crosby Elementary. Michael removed from Crosby in April, along with other aides and the principal. Forney City Councilman James Traylor tried reaching out to the Texas Attorney General's office to investigate how the teacher was hired, telling Fox 4 News Thursday,
"They referred me back to TEA. We had a monster on the streets in Forney, and that's not okay. Our kids deserve so much better than this."
Forney ISD did not identify Michael by name in its letter to parents in May, but said it had recently discovered the teacher legally changed his name before being hired in October 2025, obscuring previous criminal charges of which he was later acquitted. Public records now show Jonathan Michael was previously known as Michael Rail.
Michael Raymond Rail shows him in tears after surrendering to police on an arrest warrant for indecency with a child, sexual contact.
He was arrested back in 2016 while working as a special education teacher at Garland ISD's Hudson Middle School. According to his own filings, in an unsuccessful civil suit against Garland ISD, a Dallas County jury acquitted the special education teacher. In his 2019 lawsuit, he complained the criminal allegations had made him virtually unemployable. Some other information tonight. It's not clear if Forney ISD ever followed up with parents or notified them after Michael's arrest. Forney ISD, Texas DPS, and also the Texas Education Agency haven't really responded to us at all over the last 24 hours when we have asked them for information and or a comment. As for Michael, he is still in the Kaufman County Jail this evening, charged with 2 counts of injury to a child. Those charges came from back in May. But on his booking site, we also noticed there was a charge added in June of child grooming. It's unclear what child grooming allegations there are. The affidavit, the paperwork for the child grooming charge was not available to us today.
There are too many demons in this world. Too many pedophiles. Too many sick human beings, y'all. Let's get over into this next video where we hear more about the principal and what she knew.
Investigators say a North Texas elementary school principal knew and even joked about a teacher's checkered past and hired him anyway.
For the last week, Fox 4 has been working to confirm a tip that former Crosby Elementary principal Wendy Bailey had been arrested. A Forney ISD spokesperson brushed us off, but court records obtained exclusively by Fox 4 today reveal serious allegations against both Bailey and the Forney district over the hiring of special education teacher Michael Royal, who changed his name to Jonathan Michael during the hiring process. One witness even told Texas Rangers investigating that Bailey agreed to hire the teacher on the condition that he change his name. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager has been working to get those records for days now and has them, and joins us in studio or next door in the newsroom, Dallas newsroom, with the entire story.
Throw her in jail the same amount of time as him. There is no way you knew about what he was. You knew about what he did. And you said, oh, no, just change your name and we'll get through it. You can be hired. That's crazy. I can't imagine if my son or daughter was in that school.
Peyton.
Steve, Wendy Bailey charged with endangering a child and failure to report. She's already bonded out of jail, but today we obtained her arrest paperwork. The arrest affidavit says Bailey interviewed this special ed teacher under his old name and then his new legally changed name, finally recommending him to be hired. This is the mugshot of former Crosby Elementary principal Wendy Bailey, booked into the Kaufman County Jail last week. According to an arrest warrant obtained by Fox 4 Wednesday, Bailey was allegedly aware of serious allegations against one of her special education teachers before recommending his hiring and failed to report new allegations against him. Last week, Fox 4 reported on the arrest of Jonathan Michael, accused of physically and sexually abusing nonverbal students under his care. He's charged with injury to a child and child grooming. Investigators say the hiring process started prior to the 2025-2026 school year, when Michael provided a Forney ISD's head of recruiting his resume at a job fair. But his name wasn't Jonathan Michael at the time, it was Michael Rail. A Forney ISD official then emailed out his information to Forney campuses seeking a special education teacher. The affidavit says Bailey responded back, quote, "No thank you, LOLOL, let's try again, smiley face," with a screenshot of this mugshot attached. Michael Rail, arrested in 2016 for indecency to a child while working as a special education teacher at Garland ISD's Hudson Middle School, but later was acquitted in a jury trial. The Texas Rangers pulled phone and email records, revealing Bailey still reached out to Rail in mid-August multiple times, and an in-person interview was set up, but on August 20th, Bailey canceled. The very same day, the Texas Rangers say Rail legally changed his name. By September, Rail, now known as Jonathan Michael, applied to Forney ISD. He was interviewed in person in October, and Bailey recommended him for hire, according to investigators. Assigned to teach special education students under the age of 10. With a new name, the district says Michael passed DPS and FBI fingerprint background checks and also a clean certification through the State Board of Education.
What?
The affidavit says Michael's father said his son was told by Bailey that she could not hire him under his old name, but would if he changed his name. 6 months later, in April, 2 teachers' aides approached Bailey, reporting that Michael inappropriately touched a student in the classroom. Investigators say Bailey did not report this to anyone in the district or Child Protective Services, switched the student to a different classroom, and left a voicemail to the child's mother saying, "We are experiencing other behaviors in the room that required me to move him for safety reasons." Follow-up interviews between Texas Rangers and multiple Crosby teacher aides were conducted, where aides claimed they saw Michael touch students inappropriately in the bathroom multiple times and also heard Michael say sexual comments out loud. Plus, Forney ISD police later handed over classroom surveillance video to the Texas Rangers they say shows Michael violently throwing children to the ground and shoving another one into a bookshelf.
All right, and we just heard back from Forney ISD this evening. It's not much. The district says this is an active law enforcement matter and that it's cooperating. We also learned today that according to investigators, Jonathan Michael was removed from a teaching position at Dallas ISD due to sexual misconduct allegations, but was never charged. Investigators also say he worked for Denton ISD for a few days, but was also removed once a parent learned of his past. The affidavit didn't say when he was at those 2 districts, and we also haven't heard back from either of those districts for a comment at this time. It's something we'll follow.
This is the craziest thing I've heard in a long time. Both the principal and him needs to be charged with the same thing. Because if she knew what he was, she laughed about it. And then I guess times were so hard, or they were in such need of special education teachers, which I'm not going to say that there isn't a need for more teachers. But we can't be scraping the bottom of the barrel. That's below the bottom of the barrel. This is crazy. Let's get over into the AI breakdown, y'all, just to see what else we can learn and see if we missed anything. So, as we know, the former Crosby Elementary School principal and special education teacher have both been arrested in connection with the physical and sexual abuse of special needs students in the Forney Independent School District. So we know the former principal was charged with endangering a child and failure to report child abuse. Investigators stated that Bailey knew about the teacher's past, joked about it, and then told him that she could only hire him if he changed his name. When the classroom aides later reported the teacher for his inappropriate actions, she ended up just moving and shuffling the students and teachers around. So as we know, Jonathan was arrested by the Texas Rangers and charged with injury to a child and child grooming. Arrest affidavits state that Michael violently assaulted special education students, including using armbar takedowns, pushing a student into bookshelves, and then pinning a child to the floor with his knee. Public records revealed that Jonathan Myers legally changed his name from Michael Roy before being hired by Forney ISD in October 2025. Under his previous identity, he had been arrested in 2016 in the charge of indecency with a child involving sexual contact while working as a Garland ISD. So though he was later acquitted by a jury because his state background checks and teaching certifications were clear under his new legal name, the school district claimed they were unaware of his past, though criminal affidavits show that Principal Bailey explicitly orchestrated the name change. So when a Forney ISD district official initially emailed his resume to her, she ended up responding, "LOL, try again," and then pointed to his mugshot. "No, thank you, LOL, try again." In April 2026, two classroom teachers' aides formally reported him. And as we know, we got video evidence. Instead of reporting the bathroom abuse to CPS, Bailey secretly moved the victims to a different room. She left a voicemail for the victims' parents to falsely claiming that the change was because we are experiencing other behaviors in the room that require me to move him for safety. She said to restore cohesiveness. Wow. All that to say, some people do not have the best interests of your kids in heart. There is no way a principal, a teacher, I'm assuming she used to be a teacher, but a principal would hire somebody with this type of history and say she can say she cares about the kids. There's no way. You knew what was happening. And then when you got somebody coming to you complaining about it, instead of immediately going to authorities, you tried to shuffle it around and hide it. Do you not think more things could have been prevented? But I mean, obviously she was trying to save her own skin. It's a crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Absolutely crazy. We're going to pivot now into our third topic we're going to be discussing today. And we got to go to a crazy case where we have, let me find the right one. Okay. We got to go to a crazy case where we have a father who is currently being charged because he ended up luring his daughter's alleged rapist, 11-year-old daughter's alleged rapist, to the home, all to shoot him twice. Now, I wonder if he was trying to kill him, but would you do anything different? Well, we got to get over into a few videos, and then, of course, we'll get over into the AI breakdown just to wrap it all up, y'all. But let's get over into it.
Today, a man charged with raping an 11-year-old Grove City girl pleaded not guilty. 20-year-old Diego Montoya Gonzalez was arrested after prosecutors say the victim's mother found a video on her child's phone of the alleged rape. The victim's father accused of luring the suspect back to the home and shooting him.
Gonzalez was in court today before she was sent to Breaking News. 10 TV's Carla Rogner went to that courtroom.
Diego Montoya Gonzalez appeared virtually from Jackson Pike Correctional, but the child's mother and the father, who's accused of shooting him, sat in the courtroom as prosecutors read the charges against him. Detectives began looking into 20-year-old Diego Montoya Gonzalez after the mother of an 11-year-old found a video on her child's phone.
The mother of the victim called Grove City Police to report that her 11-year-old child was sexually assaulted by, at the time, an unknown adult male.
The next day, prosecutors said the child's father lured him back to the home.
The child's father started messaging the defendant on a TikTok account as if he was his daughter, stating that, quote, the daughter, was home alone because, again, quote, her parents had left. At about 6:09, the defendant showed up to the back door of the residence. The father answered the door and ultimately shot the defendant twice.
The child's father sat in the courtroom as Montoya Gonzalez was arraigned. He's charged with felonious assault, but we're not showing him to protect the identity of his daughter. According to a complaint, the father told police he planned to beat Montoya Gonzalez up, hold him, and call for police. But he believed Montoya Gonzalez was reaching for a gun, so he says he shot him. Prosecutors said investigators found multiple videos on Montoya Gonzalez's phone showing the sexual abuse of children, including an infant or toddler. He's charged with rape, pandering sexually oriented material involving a minor, and obstructing official business because prosecutors said he tried to run when he was arrested.
Okay, now let me know, y'all. What do y'all think should happen to the father? What do y'all think? Would you act any differently if you was his father? Now, if he truly had a gun and he shot, okay, then I think that sounds like self-defense to me. But if he didn't have a gun, I can see him getting charged. I mean, it just makes sense. Now, would I have done the same thing to try to lure him back? Maybe put my hands on him a little bit and then call the police? Probably. I can. 11 years old? Yeah, probably. But we have to wait to see, did he actually have a gun or not? And that'll tell us if he should be charged or not. It's a tragic situation. I don't think morally, I don't think he did anything wrong. But by the law, the law is the law. But let's keep going into this.
A judge gave Montoya Gonzalez a $20,000 recognizance bond and $50,000 cash surety bond. He's also ordered to stay away from the victim's family. Reporting at
You better stay away. Let's keep going. Let's get over into this next video and see what else it tells us.
31-year-old Malik Chandler said little as he pled not guilty to shooting 20-year-old Diego Montoya Gonzalez twice. Prosecutors say Chandler lured Gonzalez to his Grove City home last month. Charging documents allege Chandler began messaging Gonzalez on TikTok, posing as Chandler's 11-year-old family member. After Chandler learned, Gonzalez had allegedly sexually abused the girl. Chandler admitting he fired at Gonzalez 3 times because he believed Gonzalez was going to pull out a gun. ABC 6 talking with neighbors the day after the shooting.
Stood there like that and shot 3 times. I can see why he went after him. I'm not saying it's right.
This case getting national attention because Chandler is accused of taking the law into his own hands. Chandler says he asked Gonzalez to his home to beat him up, not shoot him. During Wednesday's arraignment, prosecutors asking Chandler be placed on electronic monitoring.
There was an incident that occurred on Monday where the defendant followed the victim's family out of the victim's arraignment in custody arraignments on Monday and threatened to shoot the victim's younger brother like he did the victim in this case.
Chandler denied that
Did y'all see his face when she said that?
Confrontation during the hearing. A week after he was shot, Gonzalez arrested on several charges, including being accused of sexually assaulting a minor. Besides being placed on electronic monitoring, Chandler given a $10,000 recognizance bond.
Chandler's next hearing date will not be scheduled until a judge has been assigned to the case.
This is crazy, y'all. Now, like I said, I don't think anybody will think anything wrong if he would have lured him to the house, put the paws on him, and then called the police. And then a lot of people morally won't say that it's wrong if he truly felt he had a gun and shot him in self-defense. But the man who allegedly raped his 11-year-old daughter, but you might have to take some time. But would any father do anything different? Would any father not do anything different, but would any father not be willing to take the time or sit down to protect your daughter, or at least feel like you're protecting your daughter? Now let's get over into one more video just to get some more information.
Prosecutors know that the chance of an acquittal is high. I personally think that the father should be charged, but he should get little to no time. You can't have members of society take the law into their own hands. That renders our criminal justice system futile.
Chaos ensued at a Grove City, Ohio home in July after a father lured his daughter's alleged rapist to his home and shot him. According to prosecutors, Diego Montoya Gonzalez was shot by Malik Chandler after the 11-year-old's mother discovered a video on their daughter's phone that showed Gonzalez sexually assaulting the girl. According to WNBS, the day after the discovery, Chandler pretended to be his daughter on TikTok to get Montoya Gonzalez back to their home, where he shot him twice. Chandler told investigators he intended to just beat up Gonzalez, hold him there, and then call police, but he thought he saw the alleged sicko reach for a gun in his pocket, picked up his gun off the counter, and opened fire. Chandler was charged with felony assault, and his bond was set at $100,000, while Gonzalez was indicted by a grand jury on 5 counts of pandering sexually oriented material, 2 counts of rape, and 1 count of obstruction of official business. His bond was set at $20,000 recognizance and $50,000 cash. The Post spoke with former Los Angeles federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani about the case.
My name is Nima Rahmani. I'm a former federal prosecutor and the president of West Coast Trial Lawyers. Prosecuting a case of vigilante justice is very difficult. Oftentimes, you'll deal with jury nullification or other issues where jurors just don't want to convict someone who is protecting someone else, especially if it's their child who's being sexually abused. Vigilante justice cases that go to trial are few and far between because prosecutors know that the chance of an acquittal is high. What they try to do is plea these cases out because oftentimes there's a moral justification for the use of force, even though there's not a legal one. We certainly can't have members of society taking the law into their own hands, can't serve as a judge, jury, and executioner. But again, even though that is an accurate reading of the law, jurors are ordinary people, and they're loath to convict people that are protecting their children. In this particular case, the alleged perpetrator, Montoya, was sexually abusing an 11-year-old girl. Her father, Chandler, lured Montoya to his home and shot him twice. Now, he is arguing that he was acting in self-defense, which is a good legal argument, potentially. The argument being that Montoya reached for a gun. In any case, regardless of whether there's vigilante justice or not, in any state, you're entitled to use deadly force if you're at imminent risk of death or serious bodily injury. If I'm the defense attorney in this case, I fully argue self-defense. If the elements of self-defense are established, then there can be no criminal or civil liability, setting aside the abuse and the vigilante justice. So if that fails because Montoya didn't have a gun or the use of force was unreasonable under the circumstances, then you want to pivot to the moral reason, which again isn't a legal defense, but certainly a compelling one in any plea negotiation or any litigation before a judge and jury.
Yeah, that's the main thing that I'm looking at here. It will most likely go to a plea deal because morally, most people will be like, legally, yes, he did something wrong, but morally, we're not thinking that we would do anything different. Or we think that what he did is truly morally wrong. But let's finish this video.
I personally think that the father should be charged, but he should get little to no time. The reason he should be charged is you can't have members of society take the law into their own hands.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. We are a civilization of laws, and we need to abide by them. But it does get challenging when somebody's family is affected, and morally, you could see yourself getting that angry and and knowing that morally you don't see anything wrong with it. But let's get over into the AI breakdown, y'all, just to see if we find anything else. So as we know, the Ohio father was arrested and charged with the felonious assault after posing as his 11-year-old daughter on TikTok to lure her alleged rapist to the home and shooting him twice. So the main thing, we got the charges that the father faces. We got the felonious assault and weapon charges. He's held on a $100,000 bond, and he has pleaded not guilty and will most likely try to use the self-defense. Diego, the suspected rapist, but I don't really know if you can say suspected when there's a video on the phone, but he's being currently charged with 2 counts of rape, 5 counts of pandering child abuse material, and obstructing of official business. He is held on $50,000 cash security bond and a $20,000 reconnaissance bond, and he has pleaded not guilty. How in the world? Now, I don't know what the difference between cash security, bond is bond, but how is the father's bond more than the combined bond of these rapists? So investigators reportedly discovered multiple videos of the abuse on his phone, including footage involving an infant or toddler following his arrest. Oh my God, yeah. Send him to jail. The case has sparked significant public outrage and legal debates on social media. Many users have criticized the court system because the father's bond of $100,000 was set higher than his bond. Yes, I said that. Because Chandler was previously has a previous felony conviction, he faces up to 18 years in prison for the illegal possession of a firearm. During the Chandler arraignment, the assistant prosecutor alleged that he ended up threatening to shoot the suspect's younger brother. Chandler strongly denied, and we saw that. Due to the alleged courtroom confrontation, the judge ordered Chandler to be placed on electronic ankle monitoring and issued a $10,000 reconnaissance bond. He pleaded not guilty. So the weapons under disability. So the suspect challenged prior conviction. So he was charged with juvenile burglary, and then the weapon under disability charge stems from a 2010 felony burglary conviction that occurred when Chandler was a minor. Okay, so he was charged when he was a minor. This is a complete crazy situation. They say that the police said when they found Gomez sitting in a chair inside the apartment suffering from 2 gunshot wounds, he was transported to the medical center. He was not arrested on the rape charge immediately. He was treated at the hospital, released, and fled from the police before being tracked down and arrested by the response team. I wonder why they didn't charge him immediately, because, you show somebody the video, that's damning evidence right now, but maybe they got to do more of an investigation. Beyond the initial sexual assault charges, Franklin County Sheriff's Office revealed that Gomez was also hit with separate unrelated charges of breaking and entering and theft. You got to watch your children, y'all. But at the end of the day, what are y'all thinking? I'm thinking, like I said before, and I also agree with the lawyer, you cannot take justice in your hands, even though morally I can understand it. But the law is the law. I believe that we need to follow the laws. There are some laws that need to be changed, of course, but we need to follow them and fight to change the ones that need to be changed. But honestly, I think that he needs to it needs to be honestly a slap on the wrist. Get some probation time, something like that. And then ultimately, hopefully he can use the self-defense, but no one has mentioned him having a gun or the suspect having a gun, so I don't even know if that'll fly. Maybe they'll just go with it, but we'll have to wait and see exactly what the father gets charged with. We know what the suspect needs to get. He needs to get life in prison, but will he get that? Probably not. But let me know your thoughts, y'all, and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a tragic case. We're going to pivot now into our last topic we're going to be discussing today. And we got to go to one of our favorite places to talk about, Chicago. We got to go to Chicago. We got to go to Chicago where a man has been accused of killing two of his past girlfriends a year apart. So we got a few videos to look at. Then, of course, we'll get over into the AI breakdown just to see what else we can find out about this whole case. Remember, y'all, if y'all like this type of content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Let's get into it.
In the meantime, this story, a man charged in 2 separate murders of young women in the same Southside neighborhood appeared in court today.
Yeah, one of the families has been waiting for justice nearly 2 years. WGN's Jenna Barnes is joining us live with the details on this. Where was the suspect arrested, Jenna?
Lourdes, 21-year-old Anthony Nunnally was arrested at the Cook County Jail where he was being held for a carjacking case that happened between these 2 murders. He will now remain in jail. A judge ordered him detained until trial, and the father of one of the victims tells me that's a huge relief.
We never thought she would lose her life so young.
Carlos Abrams has been waiting for nearly 2 years for Chicago police detectives to arrest a suspect in his daughter's murder. He got the call last night.
She's my stepdaughter, but I never called her my stepdaughter. She was my daughter because I raised her since she was born. I'm just glad that we got peace now for her and for the rest of us.
19-year-old Sierra Evans was found shot to death in an alley on East 95th Street in September 2024. Prosecutors now say her boyfriend at the time, Anthony Nunnally, pulled the trigger. 18 shell casings found by her body.
She got shot and killed Friday night at 12 o'clock midnight, and they found her Saturday morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. And she was just laying there like she was like trash.
As
18 shots? He had no love for her at all. I can't imagine the pain the father had to go through.
Her murder went unsolved. Police say Nunnally killed again. Last October, prosecutors say he shot another girlfriend, 17-year-old Gabriela Arellano, in the 11,000 block of South Mackinac, because he was afraid she was going to give away his location to opposing gang members. She died of a single gunshot wound to the head. Carlos says Sierra and Gabriela knew each other.
That was my daughter's friend. They deserve justice the same way we did. 2 young girls, that can never see the rest of their life or grow up with their family or even have kids or anything because their life was taken so short.
You have to be a cold man to kill your girlfriend and then go and get a friend and then kill her a year later?
Prosecutors say a third girlfriend told police that Nunnally threatened to kill her too, even showing her video of a vigil for Sierra Evans. Nunnally's criminal history dates back years. He was also arrested twice in 2022 on gun charges. We're live on the far side.
What can we do for the young women? What can we do? He almost killed 3 of his girlfriends. He killed 2. He almost killed the 3rd. Crazy world, y'all. Let's get over into this next one video.
The judge granted the state's petition today to keep this 21-year-old suspect in jail until trial. He's accused of murdering 2 teenagers in separate incidents in 2024 and 2025. And we learned today that both victims were his girlfriends at the time.
Anthony Nunnally was already in jail for vehicular hijacking charges and gun charges and will now face trial for the alleged murders of 2 of his previous girlfriends. The first incident happened in September of 2024 when prosecutors say Nunnally was drinking with his girlfriend, 19-year-old Sierra Evans, as well as some of their friends. Prosecutors say there were some arguments among the group and Nunnally was upset with Evans not siding with him. He then allegedly choked her out and was asked to leave that friend's home, which he did with Evans, but shortly after, he then apparently returned there near East 95th Street. That's when gunfire was heard outside of the home, and witnesses say he then jumped the fence and entered the basement. That's where prosecutors say Nunnally told the witnesses he shot someone and flashed a gang sign. A neighbor found the body of Sierra Evans the next morning in an alley with apparent gunshot wounds. Investigators say he later admitted to killing Evans when he threatened another girlfriend of his just months later, specifically saying he would kill her like his last girlfriend. Nunnally is also facing charges for the murder of 17-year-old Gabriela Arellano in October of 2025. Prosecutors say the two had been seeing each other for a few weeks leading up to that murder. Arellano was reported missing by her mother on October 21st after dropping her off at a friend's home 4 days prior to that. Surveillance video shows the victim and Nunnally at a restaurant with another person on October 25th. The three of them then allegedly drove back to one of the witnesses' homes near 110th and South Mackinac. Prosecutors say Nunnally and another man are seen looking up and down the street in the early hours of October 26th before returning to a vacant lot on Mackinac. And just 1 minute later, a nearby Ring camera recorded a gunshot being fired in the area, where both suspects are seen running away. A person living in the area then found Arellano's body in the vacant lot with a gunshot wound to the head. While Nunnally was in custody for his previous charges, he was then allegedly heard on a wire worn by his cellmate, admitting to killing Arellano because she was going to, quote, backdoor him.
We did not see family members for either of the victims in court here today. Nunnally is due back here on August 26.
Yo, that's crazy. He got his cellmate had a wire and recorded him admitting to it. Let's get over into the AI breakdown, y'all, to finish up this topic. It's a crazy situation. So as we know, Anthony, a 21-year-old Chicago man, has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder for fatally shooting 2 of his teenage girlfriends approximately 1 year apart. On August 5th, 2026, a Cook County judge ordered him held in custody without bail pending his trial. So Sarah Evans, she was found shot to death in East Side Alley near 95th Street and South Avenue North on September 28th, 2024. Prosecutors stated that she and Anthony had been dating for about a month when an evening of drinking escalated into an argument and to a physical assault. He choked somebody in front of the friends, or he choked her in front of the friends, and one of the friends, the owner of the house, said, "You got to go." And then she ends up dead after that. That's crazy. And then we had Gabrielle, 17, almost exactly 1 year later on October 26, 2025. Her body was discovered with 2 gunshot wounds to the head in a vacant lot near 110th Street and South McNeil Avenue. Definitely said that wrong. So Anthony was already detained in Cook County Jail on an unrelated carjacking and armed robbery charge from late 2025. When detectives finalized their homicide case against him, investigators connected him to the crimes through several pieces of key evidence. We got the jailhouse wire from his roommate, what we heard. The motive on the secret recording, Anthony claimed to killing one of them because he believed that she was going to backdoor him by revealing his location to a rival gang. And then we got Ring doorbell camera footage captured him fleeing the vicinity of both crime scenes immediately after the sound of gunfire. A third girlfriend came forward to police revealing that he threatened her life, and he reportedly showed her a news video of the vigil held for Sierra, and explicitly warned her that he would kill her the exact same way if she crossed him. Wow. Let's see, anything else? So a critical piece of information highlighted by the reporters is that the gunshot detection system picked up gunfire in the middle of the night, but no one called 911. Evans lay in the alley for 9 hours before passerbyers discovered her the next morning. Absolutely crazy, y'all. It's a crazy world we live in, but you killed both of your girlfriends almost a year apart and threatened to kill the third? Women, you got, I mean, I don't know if you can say women need to choose better, but these YNs and all these people like this, you got to stay away from them. These gang members, they do not care. They do not care about hurting you. They want their way, and they're going to get it. The easy way or the hard way. Absolutely crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts, and let me know if you disagree with anything I said, y'all. But that is it for the show today. We talked about a lot of crazy things. Remember, if you disagree with anything I said, please leave a comment. Let's have a discussion. I'm never going to say I'm always right. I'm never going to say I understand everything, but I'm willing to talk about it. That's what's wrong with the world today. But you already know these videos will be broken down, so you can go and watch the one you want. But remember, y'all, the best way to show your support, and I'm always going to say this, is to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos, because I drop every single day. But that's it for now, y'all. You already know I got to play the outro, and then I'll see y'all tomorrow for our last show of the week. That's it for now, y'all. Peace.